Hello, everyone. Welcome to Humblewood, Heroes of the Humblewood. This is a Patreon campaign featuring all of these lovely people on the screen. Shout out to our Patreons. Because of them, all of the one-shots, three-shots, marathons that we do on this channel are possible. Thank you so much for your continued support. And if you're interested in what you can get for being a Patreon, you can check out the link in chat. We also have a YouTube, YouTube, to check out our TTRPG videos. Previous episodes for this campaign and all of our other campaigns is available over there. If you'd like to add an element of fate to the narrative, every $10 guarantees a draw from the deck of many things to the player of your choice. I don't have the cards in front of me. I will grab them in a second. I forgot. But you can also use your channel points, which you get from hanging out, lurking, chatting, etc., to grant a blessing or an advantage reroll die to the player of your choice as well. So let's jump right into it. We'll go around, reintroduce everyone at the table, reintroduce their characters, and then I'll give a recap. Let's start off with B Street. Hi.
Hi guys, I'm B Street Holmes or Matthew. I play a lot of role-playing games. It's one of my favorite things to do. And I am playing Ratchet, who is a Raptor ranger and a little bit of a gruff guy. So just having a wonderful time with all these companions with us.
Excellent. Thank you so much. We'll pop on over to GeekDice. Hello.
Hey folks, I'm GeekDice. You can find me on X at geek_dice when I remember to check that out. So I am playing Leif Woodshaper, who is a dusk Corvum, which is a raven person. Leif is descended from a family of forest keepers and forest protectors, the Woodshaper group, but he is exiled. A nature wizard by trade, he is curious about the ways of the forest, and he is emboldened to perhaps restore the family name. There was some mystery that perhaps they were involved in the Great Calamity, and he's trying to figure that out and see if he can do something to make things better.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And thank you so much for the nat 20s to all players. Everyone, you get a natural 20 that you can pocket. What this means is if there is a particular role that you absolutely want to succeed, or if you want to do extra damage during combat, you can use this at any time that you like. So everyone gets one. Thank you very much. We'll pop on over to IncognitoBurrito. Hi.
Hello. Usually hang out over on Stella's Discord, playing the character Hubert, Hootenanny.
Excellent.
Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you. We'll pop on over to V.
Hey, I'm V, Vertigo, whatever you want to call me. I am a variety game streamer over on Twitch. In my downtime when I'm not working, I like to play whatever I feel like. For Tuesdays, I play Jack Hart, a Vulpin bard who likes to cause chaos and make things a little spicier. And on Wednesdays, I'm also hanging out with Stella in our Frostmaiden campaign. And this is Lavelli.
Hi, Lavelli.
Oh.
I love Lavelli. Thank you so much. And then we'll pop on over to Zombie Fighter 89.
Hello, I'm Jacob. I'm Zombie MZ. Whatever your name should call me. I am the lore master and Captain Z of the Good Ship Clip. I probably do too many clips, but that's up to your own discretion. Today I am playing Leon Breeze, the world's greatest wrestler. At least I'm trying to be anyway. Going through the forest, meeting all these cool people, trying to figure out what the hell's going on as we end our way over to Alderheart. Yeah, but we'll learn more about that when we get to the introduction. But if you're interested in any of the other stuff that I do, I have a Twitter, because people still have that now, I guess, at ZombieFighter89. If you go there, there is a pinned tweet. In that pinned tweet, there is a Google Doc link. And if you go there, it'll show all of the cool stuff that I've done. except for this promo video because I was silly and I forgot to make a space for it, but it will be there soon. But I've done promo videos for all the different shows aforementioned by V. I also play with V on Frost Maiden, so there are promo videos there as well. I do clips, I do video edits, all that kind of stuff. If you know anyone who's interested in all of that, I'm available for hire. It is something I feel like I'm pretty decent at, so I think I'm worth the service. Yeah, that's all I can think of.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Please check out everyone's links there in the chat. Give them a follow. For our recap, last time the party met up in Meadowfen, a sleepy village just south of the Scorched Grove. And it was there that you were given information that Ashbarrow, a nearby place, was completely swallowed up by fire. You, by the request of the Elder of Meadowfen, were set to a task to deliver a letter to the birdfolk council in the capital city of Alderheart. As you set out onto your adventure, you came across an encounter in the forest. It was there that the party saved an Allurin cat person by the name of Eliza Pennygleam from a group of bandits led by a Vulpin captain by the name of Frey Meriden. The party decided to take Eliza's shortcut along the edge of the mock fields, which are essentially swamplands. We open up on the edge of the mock fields here. As you're moving along, Leon, you are pulling the handcart that carries all of Eliza's wares. And we ended last session with Ratchet noticing... No, it wasn't Ratchet. It was Jack. I think.
Oh yeah, I saw the cloud.
Yes. I think you pointed it out to the party. You, Jack, noticed that there is a large, strange cloud moving towards the party in the distance at an alarming speed. Strange, abstract shapes pushing and pulling against each other, and you realize quickly this is no ordinary cloud. Let's see if I have art for you here. You point this out to your companions. What do you...
Yeah. I think you said it was like a bunch of bats?
Yeah. Here you go.
They're so adorable,
It's
and dangerous.
adorable.
Okay, let's
But there's fire.
Why
and
do
you
they
have
look
to
like they're
die.
gonna explode?
Don't say such things.
If I touch the nose, I burn.
You can see this cloud of flapping wings beginning to approach you at alarming speeds. You feel a torrent of heat just whoosh, fire on the air, heat roiling towards you, and soon it will be upon you.
What do we know about ember bats? Do they have any weakness?
Let's see some nature or history rolls if you want to see what you know about ember bats.
I don't know anything about ember bats.
22 nature roll.
Okay.
Definitely nature if I get my choice of those two.
It's a
Nature
20.
and what? I'm sorry.
Nature or history.
I like to think as it's coming up, Jack just has a paw to their forehead looking up at the sky, and they just go, "So how do we all feel about firestorms?"
No, it can't be true.
Because we've got a cloud of one coming our way.
Considering I'm carrying a lot of wood in my arms right now with this cart, I don't like the idea of fire, no.
So is it a cloud of two?
So yes, there are very many it's two clouds of very many ember bats. You
So
hear
they're
them
swarms.
screeching. Yes, there are 2 swarms quickly approaching your party.
Mhm.
So did my nature check tell me anything about if they have any vulnerabilities or anything? I go to defend the forest.
Yeah, let's see what you know about ember bats. So the 12 from Ratchet and the 16 from Leon, unfortunately, don't give us any information. You might have seen them, you might have heard about them, but you've never come up to one closely. You can tell me, Leif, why you know this information, but you know that ember bats only started appearing in Humblewood after the calamity of the Scorched Grove. Scholars nearly all agree that they had something to do with the elemental magics.
Indeed. So my family they have some history as engineers and protectors. They're practitioners or generations back, they were practitioners of wood shaping, hence our name. It's kind of like saying your name is John Smith. Your dad was a blacksmith. And as such, you know, the defense of the forest is paramount. And with the calamity that happened, that presses on Leif the need to understand nature and the forest, and in particular magic. Being a nature wizard by focus, he's very interested in those things that how the forest can be protected. So this is seen as something that's terrible.
You would also know with a 22 that ember bats are harmless on their own, but they are extremely dangerous in numbers, and they tend to maneuver in numbers. You also know that it is not unheard of for wizards and sorcerers and warlocks to take on ember bats as familiars, because they are pretty docile on their own. However, I will need everyone to please select their tokens and roll for some initiative here as they aggressively approach.
How am I gonna suplex fire?
You grab them all into one big ball hug.
But I have fur.
Don't catch on fire.
Dang. 2 of us with crits on initiative.
Wow.
Look, some of us are just built different.
I'm sorry, 3 of us, but one of them's a crit fail.
Wow.
Well,
Careful, this is how you get Stella to use her crit on initiative for the bats.
Look, I still
Or a nat
have
20.
I still have a unrevealed, probably negative card of wonder, so
I mean,
Oh,
it's not a
yes.
skull card, so we're okay.
And remind me to open up the thing here. Okay, perfect. All right. So you see the 2 swarms coming down towards you, screeching and clawing and slashing at the air. You feel the heat pursuing you. Ratchet, you are up first.
all right. I really wish that I had the action surge to just like lob multiple arrows at these things, but I can do one. I can do 1 arrow. 16.
This is how you multi-class into a fighter.
16 is a hit. Their armor class is 12.
Okay. 7 piercing. It was the first one I saw on the map, so I'm gonna go for the yellow one.
Okay. So you see the fires that are being spouted out from the mouths of the swarm to the north. They are more yellowish and golden in color, while the fires from the more southern swarm here, they're more reddish in color, just to help distinguish for the battle map. You fire an arrow towards the swarm. It cuts through the air, and you see that it hits a few of the ember bats, and they fall down. Swarm has been thinned, but it's still moving forward very dangerously. Anything else for your turn?
I don't think so. I think all to do is shout a warning to Eliza to get down. Take cover.
Jack, it is your turn.
Jack's going to take a moment and stare at the undulating swarm of flaming bats
Mm-hmm.
and realize she doesn't deal with things in the sky. That's not her problem.
Mm-hmm.
So they're gonna just casually step over to Leif and put a paw on their shoulder, saying, "We're all counting on you, and I'm gonna give you a bardic inspiration."
Really?
Of course.
What does your bardic inspiration look like?
So, as Jack rests their hand on Leif's shoulder, the tambourine bracelet on their wrist makes a soft jingle. But as they pull their hand away, you can still hear and feel the reverberation, almost like it passes through Leif.
Excellent. You have a vibration just kind of wiggle up through your feathers, empowering you.
I will not be using my action. I will pass.
Okay. Hubert, it is now your turn.
Hubert will throw a javelin at the same group,
Okay.
the yellow group that's already been attacked. I may have to move up a little bit. I can move up to here.
Okay. Yep, that's 25 feet.
Do half move and 17.
17 is a hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
5 years.
Hey, you huck this javelin through the air and you see it spear several of the ember bats. The swarm kind of diverts as they fall down from the air, moving almost as if one singular creature itself through the air. Solid hit. This particular swarm seems to have been significantly thinned out. Anything else for you?
Nope.
Okay.
That'll be it.
Thank you so much, Zombie, for the nat 20s to everyone, including me. So that means everyone has 2 nat 20s. Make sure you write that down. Dave, it is your turn.
Oh, everybody's counting on me.
Yeah.
Oops, I just canceled it out. Roll 20. Give me a moment.
You're fine.
So, how far in the air are they?
We'll say that they're about 30 feet up in the air.
Oh, really? Wow, that's so high. In this log I see here, how high up is that?
We'll just say that it's about 10 feet.
Okay,
It
so I'm gonna
looks pretty
move up.
easily climbable, though.
So if I move up there with my movement, get to the top of that log, are they within range of a throwing dagger? 20 feet?
Yep.
Sweet. So I've got this very special dagger. It is the dagger of heroes, the eagle-eye dagger. I'm going to throw it.
Okay.
You're gonna use the bardic inspiration
Yeah,
to
I'm gonna use
add.
Is it a D6?
Yes.
Sweet. So let me throw. And
Wow, 30-20. That is absolutely a hit.
chunky hit, dagger flies. Whoosh.
Okay.
Here. I say,
And it's
heroes.
gone forever.
I know exactly. I was thinking about that.
You
So 22.
You throw this dagger. It's well maintained, but it has that sort of grit to it that shows age, that it's definitely been through battles and use over time. Throw it through the air and you hit several of the ember bats. There's basically only 2 remaining out of this
So
entire.
is that like a whoosh and a thunk, thunk, thunk?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
There's
So that was
basically only 2
7
left.
points.
Mm-hmm.
I turn around back to my friend who blessed me with the bardic inspiration with the raised eyebrow. Did I do it right?
Jack just gives you a thumbs up, but then says, "You should probably keep watching them."
Oh, I turn back around. That's my turn.
Leon, it is your turn.
I don't know if there's much I can do other than move up, I guess. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to set the cart down gently, make sure that our friend there is, covered, safe, comfortable. I don't know if they have like a sheet or a cover on the thing for normal travel, but I'll just make sure that they're settled in there. And then
you'll see Eliza basically, because it's not her turn yet, she looks like she's basically gonna jump off the cart and probably hide underneath it.
Okay, cool. So make sure everything's safe for there, and then I walk 30 feet closer to. Well, hold on. I don't think I'm any closer to the other one, but no, I'm way further actually. I think I'll just kind of follow where everybody else is going. So that would be about right. Get right about there. So need my person. There we go.
And then you're gonna throw Leif at them.
No. Not without them saying it's okay first.
I don't think they'd say no.
What do you say, Leif?
Throw them at? It's necessary? Okay.
Just as a reminder, you can prepare actions if you want, so you could set a trigger if you want.
Why do I forget that? Sure. I will set up an attack with my Warhammer.
Okay. With your Warhammer when something gets into melee range? Okay. Cool. Excellent. So we see you pull out your Warhammer and get ready. What does your Warhammer look like?
So it takes kind of a shape of what would be like a normal looking sort of sledgehammer. Kind of a mix between a normal one, kind of like not quite like Mjolnir like Thor's, but like kind of like a mixture of in between. And it's gonna have like these cool like looking like lightning motifs in it to kind of keep with the theme. And so he has it ready and he's like, I'm ready to stomp whenever they get close. Yeah.
I love it. I don't know why, but I imagine the lightning bolts to have paint in them, and then it's the same blue as like it like matches your outfit.
Oh yeah. I was imagining it being like blue and then with like maybe little yellow lightnings, or or maybe even with the color the way it is, because I was picturing it being like a brown, like a wood and a black kind of top on it. I kind of want the lightning to look blue, like how my outfit is, like the base color of my outfit. Let's go with that. I love that.
It's also made out of PVC and cardboard.
Very effective, yes.
Yep. 3D printed. Yep.
Yes, let's go.
Okay. Excellent. It is now the swarm's turn. You see this one come rushing forward, and it seems as if it's going to try to engulf Leon here, but you do get your attack of opportunity. Well, not attack of opportunity. Your prepared attack. So go ahead.
Your opportunity to attack.
Your opportunity to use your delayed action. So go ahead and roll to attack here, please. This is for Leon.
Oh, I'm so sorry. What am I rolling? I apologize.
Your Warhammer.
My Warhammer.
Yeah, you're good.
I'm sorry. I was looking at something else's face. I apologize.
You are wonderful. 15 is a hit. Roll some damage.
Yeah, all right.
All right.
Bella going, you can swing your Warhammer. Zombie going, that's great. I love that for that person.
Yeah.
Tell me how you take out the last two bats as they come rushing towards you.
Unlike actual zombie, Leon was paying attention. And so when he sees them fly by, he's right by Leaf. He's like, oh, no, you don't. I'm going to stomp out this fire, just like a bear once told me. And he like takes the hammer and starts smacking them as they get kind of near. And I like to imagine it's kind of like he hits it right in enough spot where like it's almost like when you kind of put your you see like a small fire and you take your foot and you kind of stomp it out. I want to see he's kind of like doing that with the hammer, just kind of stomping out the fire.
Okay, excellent. And then simultaneously, you see this other group of swarm essentially come rushing forward towards Hubert. And they will literally swarm you. They are literally on top of you. All around you, you are essentially in a cloud of bats here. It is sweltering. It's making you sweat between your feathers here, Hubert. And they will attempt to bite you. The 6. Which is probably a miss.
Armor class 16.
Very good. What else do they get? Okay, that's it for their turn. Ratchet. You see your friend Leon, quotation marks, Leon here go bonk, bonk, take out the last 2 of the first swarm, and the other swarm is all around Hubert. What do you do?
I've known him for 2 days. It's one of the longest relationships I've had. Yeah, let's ooh. I don't think I'm gonna risk shooting an arrow through, like, because he's in that square too. So I'm gonna pull out my short sword and go in for a melee attack here.
All right.
Um,
They are ground level now.
Yeah. 10 is not enough, though, I don't believe.
Mm-mm.
All right, well, I'm here to try and help.
All right. Yeah, as you come in and try to slash at them with your short sword, they move like a single unit, just swerving out of the way. Heat washes over you. Unfortunately, that is a miss. Jack, it is your turn.
It looks like they've got this. Jack's gonna just lean back against the cart and start playing their flute.
Excellent. What kind of a tune are you playing?
Hold on. Something kind of mellow despite what's going on, you know. Like you'd think what's happening right now is pretty casual.
Okay, casual.
That'll be my turn.
Hubert's on fire.
My goodness.
All right. Hubert, unfortunately, at the start of your turn, whoosh, flame essence triggers. You start your turn within 5 feet of the ember bats, so you must make a DC 10 Constitution saving throw, or you take fire damage.
That's me as well, isn't it?
It's at the start of your turn.
Oh, at the start, right.
Yeah. You take 1 fire damage when you roll that 8.
Oh man, I'm so glad I didn't get close to them. This is great for me.
The heat washes over you, Hubert, but it is now your turn.
Hubert will take a swipe with his longsword.
Okay.
He will swat at the foul cloud of bats.
Oof, that's definitely a hit.
Two-handed for 12 slashing damage.
Very good. You are effective as you swing it around. You are just knocking them out of the air left and right. Significantly thinned here. Anything else for your turn?
No, that'll be it. Thank you.
Leif, it is your turn.
So any of the bird folk around probably take note. Technically, Leif could jump off and glide to the ground, but Leif instead turns out and descends very carefully from the lofty height of 10 or so feet on top of this log. And then once on the ground, like any good raven person, he hops around to get on the other side of this little swarm of fiery beasts, and he lashes out with his quarterstaff that is shaped like a sword. Bamf. And that's a 12.
That's a hit. Are you using it one-handed or two-handed?
great question. Actually, it's 2 hands, so it would be 4.
Very good. Bonk, you hit one bat out of the air.
On guard.
Leon, it is now your turn.
Okay. I think he'll also go down. You'll see right here, I guess. And he'll also join in on the bonking. And this time, I used one-handed by accident last time, so I'm going to use two-handed.
Okay. 23 definitely hits. How much damage? That is exactly what you needed.
Nice!
Doing a golf swing on these ember bats.
Yeah. Tell me what this looks like. There's a couple of them just kind of swirling around Hubert, and you take them out.
So I want to say that, like, well, say Leaf also was, like, attacking them as well. So they might be, like, maybe turned to Leaf, maybe not paying attention to what I'm doing. And so Leon comes from behind, and he's like, boo! And, like, just knocks them all down, and then does the same thing with the stomping with the hammer to put out the fire.
Excellent. And with that, that is the end of combat.
Good work, everyone.
I think we prevented a forest fire.
Look over the corpses. See if there's anything that could be of value to a spellcaster. Components from these beasts.
Okay. Go ahead and roll Arcana for me, please.
Magic. 23.
23. Okay. You pick up one of the ember bats, and you can see that there is this interesting nose that is featured on its face.
Bats have like little snouts.
Yeah, like a little snout. You see that this particular bat, the snout is essentially shaped in a way that gives the impression there's probably some kind of organ that produces a type of gas. And essentially it exhales gas to ignite it into fire.
Okay, I'm going to scoop up any bat bits that are bits of bats that are not on fire and tuck them into a sack for later.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a survival check. We won't get into the details of what you're doing here, but we'll see how
it was
well.
Not so great.
Okay. We'll say that
In an alternate timeline, you rocked that.
We'll say that you get basically one gas organ.
Thank you.
You make pretty quick work of it.
Hope I didn't stump out enough for you not to be able to take a lot. I'm sorry.
No. Something to check out later.
Eliza from underneath the cart goes, "Is it all right to come out now?"
The fire's been put out.
Eliza peeks out and looks over at Jack. "You're really good at playing that."
I'm aware. But thank you for being good at listening.
Well, sorry that the path here is a bit precarious, but I think it's safer than the main road. Bandits are known to traverse that way. Is anybody hurt?
We're fine. We should keep moving.
I think Hubert was hurt, right?
Flesh wound.
Yeah, Hubert just basically has like one little
A little singe on their toe.
I had some feathers get a little burnt. Yeah, we're good.
Well, all right. You see Eliza kind of awkwardly climb back into the cart here, and she points forward. "It's gonna be that way."
So, Eliza,
Move.
we've still got a bit of a journey ahead of us. Why not tell us a bit more about yourself?
Oh, I can certainly do that. Well, as you know, I'm a merchant. I've sometimes joined caravans that move throughout the Humblewood, but I do occasional business through the capital. I've been merchant for about 7 years now. She looks down at her toe beans as she's sitting on this cart and y'all are pulling it on forward. She looks a bit dour. I suppose I've got some more work waiting for me at Alderheart.
As a merchant, wouldn't more work be a good thing?
She doesn't say anything.
Jack just raises an eyebrow in interest, but doesn't continue.
I think there's a visible look on Leon's face because the back of my head is facing her, so she can't see. But he's also kind of like very curious and worried about that. But he won't say anything.
Hmm. She trails off into silence as you continue down the road. Who wants to be at the front of this procession here, navigating through the swamp?
The swamps and not forests, right?
Yes, we're technically in a swamp right now.
All right, this is all up to the ranger.
Yeah, I got decent perception and survival, so I can take up at the front.
Okay.
I think I'm in the back because I have the cart. I think that would make the most sense.
The cart's attached to you.
Jack is wandering along to the side of the cart, chatting with Eliza.
Okay. You see that following the conversation, Eliza seems a bit deflated, and she does answer you, but she essentially seems weighted down by something. All right. Go ahead and roll me a survival, please, Ratchet, as you are maneuvering along the edge of the mock.
I can do that. It's a 21.
Okay, with a 21, a couple of hours pass. They are mostly uneventful. You are able to maneuver around the boggy parts of the fringe of this marsh. And soon, you see a village beginning to peek through the trees. And as you're approaching, Eliza will gesture in front of her and say, "This is Winnowing Reach. For those of you that are unfamiliar, it's a bit of an outpost. Most of the people that live here are researchers, and they come from the Avium. Sorry. Avium. You essentially see these buildings that are built into the marshy trees around you. The terrain is a bit boggy, so there are either wooden planks that have been set down into marshy bits to serve as pathways, or there are rope bridges between the trees to allow some measure of traversing. You also see that there are ladders and stairs to help folks get up into the trees.
Jack is going to gently try to guide Leif closer to Eliza, just like a hand to their shoulder, almost putting them around her, and just whisper, "Maybe you should talk to her, and there might be something magical in this research."
About that, she looks so glum, you know. I just want to get a chance to talk to her, just person to person. You know, maybe if we settle in, I don't know, something's not right. So I guess the words flew over Leif's head talking about researchers, right? Research. Of course, this is an eyeball full of things. I guess there's different things here that I'm not accustomed to seeing. I'm not sure. Take in the whole place. Looks like there's many buildings. There's houses and dwellings and maybe shops. We're in the middle of a market. I guess just looking around, be interesting to know what is in the market. Looks like there's something over here. Number 1, that's a big building. They're like, maybe that's like supply house.
So as you're kind of being guided through this outpost, you see very many eye-catching things. There are dwellings up above. There are tents down below. And you can see that there are a modest number of people walking around. They are both birdfolk and humblefolk, a mix of both, maneuvering through the area here. And Eliza essentially guides you right into the smack middle of Winnowing Reach. She hops down off of her cart and she says, "If you don't mind, could you help me with this?" And she holds up 2 poles.
Yeah, I immediately insert myself, nudge past anybody else, because I definitely want to engage Eliza and talk to her. So this is a great opportunity.
Okay.
What are we doing? We're setting up your stand?
Yes.
Did Leif ever retrieve the dagger?
I was thinking about that.
Yeah, we'll just assume that Hubert, you got your javelin back, and Leif, you got your dagger back. No problem. In the future, I will
So
ask.
Jack is checking up on Leif and saying, "Leif, come over here," and for a moment there, maybe Jack sees this initial response from Leif, that Leif was perhaps first a little bit taken aback. Of course, there was some drama that unfolded in recent days with some bandits that caught Leif off guard. Leif was perhaps, a little bit overwhelmed, first time really seeing bandits, confronted by bandits, and we had the opportunity to capture them. But instead, someone made the decision that they needed to be dispatched. And from that moment, Leif kept himself at 2 wings distance from the person who he was getting close to as a friend. Jack just kind of really set Leif back, surprised Leif with the action. So it was kind of whoa. But now, of course, Jack is kind of like goading him on, and here, take this inspiration, be a hero. So it's like, oh, it's a little bit overwhelming.
Enjoy all of the mixed signals. They will keep happening.
So as Eliza gets you to work, Leif, essentially she has you help her put up a sign, and it says Eliza's, just kind of scribbled on in the Humble script, which you can see there on the map. There's actually like a whole written language. So this will be common.
This is
So,
awesome.
Thinking about it, I think a big reason it looks like that is because a lot of the humble folk couldn't hold like quills and stuff, so it's like claw marks, just all straight lines and scratches.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Not unlike how Cuneiform had to work with the fact that they're using like a straight edge thing to make their shapes, and yeah.
Oh.
So Eliza, is this like your hometown, or this just another stop on?
Oh no, this is not. I suppose I don't really have a place that I would specifically call home. This is just a stop on the way. We should get some rest and see if I can help supply any of the researchers here while I'm here.
Tell me more about this place, and what are the sites to see? What are they researching? I'll sit here and help you.
She thanks you for your help and definitely accepts it as she begins to set up the cart. She more or less tells you that she doesn't really ask a lot of questions. Hasn't just really thought about doing it because usually people occupy her time. You can see that people are already starting to come up to the cart and She essentially has like weapons, tools, adventuring gear, trading goods, like general store kind of things available, and immediately she's starting to work. So she doesn't have a lot of information to share with you.
Before we all split off, I would like to do two things.
Okay.
First, I'm going to ritual cast Unseen Servant, and I am going to have the servant start twirling a secondary sign for Eliza.
Ooh.
Aw.
Okay.
I love that.
That's so cool.
And then Jack is going to start dancing and using their tambourines and bells to help attract people.
Oh, I love it. Go ahead and roll me performance. We'll see how much of a crowd you'll draw.
25.
Yep. Immediately, some people
Wow.
were already like walking past, uninterested, and they stop, turn around, and they do look. They do buy. You're effectively helping her business. She looks at you, and there's a bit of brightness that takes her face, and she winks at you. She seems to be in a much better mood now.
So Jack will hang around here and continue doing this for a while if people split off anywhere else.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
as people come by the stand, I try to bring their attention to this. Looks pretty cool. What do you think about this? Try to help her sell.
okay, go ahead and roll persuasion.
The campaign where we all became shop assistants.
I know exactly. Well, I've got a -1, so I'm going to use a nat 20. I'm going to knock it out of the park.
Okay, yeah, so tell me what about this is extra special, how this goes exactly the way you want it to.
Yeah, so I think I tap into all my knowledge of nature and my knowledge of the city, and I'm not averse to lying. I've become accustomed to that, being in exile and being reluctant at times to speak the truth. So I kind of elaborate. I dwell on the memories of other bazaars or like a merchant areas like I've been in before. So I try to upsell and even fabricate a little bit. Nothing grossly overstated, but I definitely embellish as much as I can, trying to push the wares on people and do color matching. The sword looks great on you. No, it doesn't make you look fat, and all those kind of things.
Yeah, you see Eliza also winks at you between conversations that you have, and you are helping stuff sell significantly.
That chainmail's very slimming.
But what does Hubert want to do?
I will go through the different things. Like, oh wow, this is a really good deal. Yeah, look at these deals. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay, you want to do a little bit of crowd work here.
Yeah.
A little shadow customer.
Okay, so we can do a couple of different things here. If you want, you could roll me persuasion. You could roll deception if you think that's more appropriate. Or you can roll performance.
Yeah, this would be the one I have. Yeah, the best ability I would have be
Okay.
persuasion. So.
Persuasion. With an 11, you can see that some people are curious by you, especially what you're wearing. You definitely don't look like you're a local. You don't look like you're a researcher type. But you aren't 100% sure how effective it is. They definitely hang out, and they're definitely listening to what you're saying. How about Ratchet?
Ratchet will, as this crowd starts to build and becomes a little overwhelming for him, he's, I think, gonna find somebody who's like hasn't really gotten into the shopping yet, but is like nearby, just go over to them. We've been traveling a fair distance to get here. Is there a place that we could get something to drink and a bed for the night?
You come across a gallus, a chicken person, and they look at you. They are wearing these dark gold, almost brown robes, and they have a number of books in their arms. They stop to regard you. Oh, I suppose you would like to seek out the local inn, the Wrangler's Rest. It's over to the southeast end of, the outpost. Quiet place, quality rooms, good food.
Much appreciated. I can check it out for our crew while they're selling.
The innkeep does enjoy having visitors whenever they can. There are not many adventurers that come through here, and those that do, let's just say that not all of them are successful when they try their hand at slime wrangling.
Slime wrangling?
Oh yes, Winnowing Reach is known for its advancements in the study of slimes and their applicable uses.
All right, then. I suppose it's an interesting topic. There are an abundant number of slimes, as far as I know, though I don't know much else about them.
Oh, well, the mock fields are ripe with them. I'm sure someone of your caliber could easily hunt them down. You see, he dips his head towards you, and he's very pointedly pointing his eyes at the marks under yours.
Just a big sigh. Just the biggest sigh. Leon, would you like to come check out the inn with me?
Yeah, I can do that.
Very well. You said to the southeast, sir?
Yes, you won't be able to miss it.
Much appreciated. And I'll start heading in that direction.
Leon, you see as Ratchet begins to turn and leave, this gallus deeps extremely deeply. It's a very respectful gesture. It's over the top.
Ah.
Right.
Go that way. Yep, there we go.
Yeah. So the two of you, as you break off from the party, you see these number of buildings and dwellings. You can tell that from the architecture, it's mostly temporary in design. You see there have been some efforts to try to make more permanent, sturdy dwellings here, but it seems mostly like, as it was explained, these are just places for people to live while they're working in the nearby area. As the two of you approach number 7 here, you can see that there is a sign that is hanging from one of the boughs of this tree, and there is a platform walkway that spirals up along the base all the way to the building up above you. The sign says, "The Wrangler's Rest."
Well,
Please.
not sure what slime wrangling will entail, but
I mean, I've wrangled a couple of great good things in my time. Not very slimy ones though. So that would be a new challenge.
part of the reason I thought you might be interested in joining. That, and if they want tales of adventure, I suspect you'd be a bit more enthusiastic.
Yes, I will tell them of my great wrestling skills.
As the two
You are Ratchet's social buffer.
I know. I got that feeling. I got that, yeah.
The +1 you bring to a party so you don't have to interact with the party.
Exactly.
Which is weird because I'm usually that person that's like, talk to this person.
Right. And I'll talk to anybody in real life, so it's
Yeah,
very
we're
much a
we're
swap of
doing
personalities.
opposites. Yay!
Yeah. I'm always the buffer, like, because I never shut the fuck up, so it's easy for me to talk to everybody.
Right.
As the two of you go inside the Wrangler's Rest, you find that it's mostly empty. The owner appears to be a modest Mapok woman, and yes, no people. When the door opens, she stands up, her ears perk, and you see this raccoon person, a Mapok, come scuttling forward. And she's dressed pretty modestly. You can see that she has a dress and an apron. She says, "Welcome to the Wrangler's Rest. What can I get for you?"
Well, I think we're looking for a couple rooms for the party of us tonight. We got a couple of people with us, and I think we're looking for a place to stay.
"Oh, yes, sit down, sit down. Let me bring you some drinks." And she essentially begins to shove menus into your hands. And this has the rates of a modest inn. So it is essentially going to be, for a room, 5 silver pieces per night.
Mm-hmm.
And for the meals will be 3 silver pieces, which includes a drink.
Okay. Ratchet will order something fairly like standard consistent. Like in our world, it would be the equivalent of like a burger and a beer. He's not trying to try out like the local cuisine or something. He's just let's go with standard.
Yeah.
I like this. I want that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I think Leon would be the same kind of way. He's a little hungry, a little thirsty. Nothing like, gorging himself into like, oh, I can't move now, I must lay in the bed, but just enough to be like, all right, I feel better now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so for a modest meal, it will be 3 silver each, and essentially you can pick and choose what you want on it. So for general proteins, there are grubs and various bugs that are on the menu that are pretty stock. More eccentric things, there's like slime pudding, there's like slime cubes, slime meat, slime things of various quality and questionable shapes.
Is the slime pudding a flan?
Oh no, the only way to find out is if someone orders it.
All right, Ratchet, you've got a job.
There's just something about playing a D&D game and being given the choice to ask if you want a cube or not. It's possibly full of gel. So I don't know if I'm going to go for that.
Yeah, but like some more of the standard fare, there are nuts, there are berries, there's bread, there's various grub, basically whatever you want.
I think Leanne will just go for something like, I guess kind of light bug related, like I said, nothing hefty, just nothing, like a couple, a good sized plate of whatever they have. And
It's very Lion King, where they lift up that log.
Oh, sweet.
So
yes.
They're juicy, they're tasty, they're bright.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
They've got like a storage log in the back that they just lift up.
Yeah.
So through the wonders of Google searches, apparently dragonflies taste like crab.
Wow,
So
that's good to know.
Is
I
that
don't know.
good to know?
For this game, yes.
So I feel like, especially like in a marshy environment, yeah, let's get some dragonfly here.
Yeah, they have that. You have
Alright.
tasty dragonfly.
Hell yeah.
Okay, but how do you have the dragonfly? Is it like a soup? Is it fried?
No, as a cake, like a crab cake, but it's a dragonfly cake.
Ooh, I like that.
So please mark 3 silver off of your character sheets. And for the room, 1 room can have 3 people. So you'll have to get 2 rooms if you want everyone to be comfy.
Yeah. I think Leon will go ahead. He kind of wants to be generous and kind of be nice and show off, a little bit to everybody. So I think he's gonna want to get, well, I guess he would he know that Eliza would have her own setup, or would she also be like needing a room? Because then I think we would have to go into 3 at that point, right?
There's 5 of you, so if you got 2 rooms, that would be 6 people. So there would be space for Eliza.
Okay.
And this
then
is
all right.
like 3 separate beds in each room, so people would be comfortable.
Oh, okay. Cool. Okay, so yeah, okay, we'll do the 2 rooms. Send the invite to Eliza next time we see her to be like, hey, we got some rooms. If you want to stay, you're more than welcome to take one of the beds. And then I think Leon himself will just pay for it to be nice, pay for the rooms. So.
Okay. So that would be 1 gold, 3 silver for Leon, including your food. So meanwhile, as that's happening, back over at Eliza's stand, there's coin exchanged, goods sent out, and Eliza is smiling. She's beaming. And it's starting to get kind of dark now.
Yes. Go ahead.
Real quick, to help with the show of everything, every 10th customer that buys something, I use prestidigitation to do like little fireworks.
Oh.
Like just little sparkles around the item that they buy.
Okay. As you do this, you notice that there are some guards that move into the area coming from the northeast. You kind of peer over at the sound of the fireworks, looking a bit concerned.
Hey, just maybe take it a little bit easy. Just lights, no fire.
All right, so now we're going to make it even more bright and loud.
As there's
Think
a pew, pew.
for the 100th customer, just like starts doing a whole show with prestidigitation.
See the guard begins to slink away at this, and we'll say that Eliza sells out and essentially doesn't have very much left, only like bare essentials. She begins to close up shop, looking extremely proud, extremely happy.
Now, wasn't that awesome?
Oh, thank you so much.
That's so great. Jack
Oh,
has done a great
thank you,
job.
thank you, thank you. That would have not been possible without your help.
Great job, Jack.
Jack gives a shining grin and just says, "Surely you would have managed. We just made it a bit livelier."
Thank you so much. It is getting quite dark.
I think they were going to get a room. And get food. You going to join us in the end?
Oh, yes, I can. Let me just start to bring this.
Let me help you pack this up.
She reaches and she's trying to like disassemble the setup here, and
Jack gives the unseen servant the command to help disassemble.
okay, and as the crowd is beginning to essentially disperse and the sign is brought down, you see a guard flanking a Corvum, a drab-feathered Corvum crow person, begins to approach. And they have a very stately look to them. Hold on, they have a specific... They appear middle-aged, and from the way they carry themselves, you can tell that they are someone of at least self-importance. And they look quite official, being flanked by a guard.
I love that the token isn't like a picture of them, it's just the name.
Yep.
Intimidating.
Maybe they're important.
Or maybe they're not even memorable.
The mystery continues. Who are you?
Are they like pretty clearly like heading towards us or like looking for us?
Yes, they're coming right towards the cart.
I am going to head them off and saunter my way over there.
Come to a stop, and you see that this Corvum, dressed in these much nicer robes than most of the people you've seen around here, they fold their hands behind their back and look at you down their beak. Hello. My name is Walden Crane. I am the magistrate of Winnowing Reach.
Jack looks them up and down for a moment. You said they look like more well off?
Just a little, not like grossly.
Hmm.
You can tell they take
So,
care of themselves.
like upper middle class.
Yeah.
You can see like a little bit of interest gets lost as she examines them before plastering on a smile and saying, "Of course, it must be our pleasure to meet you."
He doesn't really respond to that. He just kind of slides his eyes over you and over to your friends. Eliza, it is good to see you again. Oh, magistrate, it's good to see you too. I hope all is well. Oof, and she basically like struggles to shove things into the cart, being very small and very precious. What can we do for you today? I hope that our wares were not a disturbance or anything like that. No, not a disturbance at all. You know that your presence is quite appreciated in the Reach. It is your company that I am interested in. Perhaps I may speak with them. Be my guest. And Eliza steps out of the way. She gestures both Leif and Hubert to approach. So how do you regard this person? What kind of bearing do you have? What does Walden Crane see when he looks at you, Hubert?
A Strig, a swift Strig, maybe trying to prove his worth, trying to prove himself, but just sees a young Strig.
Do you smile at him?
I just acknowledge him politely. You know, yeah, that's yeah.
Right. His eyes just kind of slide over you. He doesn't really seem interested. He looks at Leif.
So Leif approaches. He's got a flat expression on his face. But as he stands there and then he suddenly suffers the gaze of this authority figure, he visibly trembles.
He immediately looks away from you.
He doesn't. Leif does not do well with authority figures or dominating persona of birdfolk.
Good work. Good work.
He left Alderheart on purpose.
Yeah. You see Walden Crane immediately just exhales just a tiny bit and then looks back at Jack, who is clearly in charge here, and says, "Unfortunately, something has happened. A young Corvum researcher by the name of Kenna Brightspark has gone missing. Please, you must help me. The foolish girl has gotten in over her head. She decided to venture off into the caverns nearby to look for slimes and has not returned for days. You will help, will you not?"
Jack lets there be a little bit of a poignant pause, scratching at their chin for a moment. You seem to have some pretty worthwhile guards of your own.
Unfortunately, not as many as I would like. Their primary concern is to make sure that the Reach is safe and kept safe. We are on the fringes of the wilderness, so it is not unheard of that creatures may threaten us at any time. I cannot spare them. And when he says this, he does say it with a genuine air. It kind of makes sense. You haven't seen a lot of guards, and they don't look particularly like they are...
First rate?
Yeah, like, they look more militia than anything else.
Mm-hmm. They're not like a night force.
Yeah, absolutely not.
She taps her chin a couple more times and then glances back over at Eliza. Well, whether we want to or not, we are currently under an agreement with our small friend here.
As you look at Eliza, she pops her head out from behind the cart. Oh no, did you say Kenna? Oh no. Oh, please, if you don't mind. Oh, Kenna's a friend of mine. She's so sweet and... Oh dear. I wonder why she decided to go off on her own.
Well, I suppose there you have it, but I would hope for some compensation should we succeed.
Of course. And he peeks inside his coin pouch, which doesn't seem very heavy at all.
Mm-hmm.
5 gold pieces to each of your companions.
I'm gonna roll a deception check.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll first. I rolled a 20.
Very nice.
Jack's going to say, so 5 pieces for all 8 of us.
Yes, whatever you need. Oh, and if along your way you just happen to reduce the local slime population, the Reach would be grateful for your service.
Of course, we will
Reward
do
for
what we
slime?
can.
For the slime itself, you'll have to speak with the researchers, but there's kind of a pause and then almost like an afterthought. Of course, Kenna's safety comes first. And then
Jack
okay.
will lean over to Leif and just whisper, go get the others.
To Leif.
Well,
Yes.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yep, right away.
And as soon as it's kind of obvious that you're going to take this on, Walden Crane says, if you need me, you can find me at the magistrate's office to the northeast.
Of course, we'll be sure to deposit her there.
And then he begins to step off. Meanwhile, back at the inn here, Leif, you stumble in to see both Ratchet and Leon scarfing down food. It smells pretty delicious in here.
Yeah. I think everybody else coming soon too. Looks like we got work. Got some more work to do. Gotta find a missing girl.
Yeah, but
Huh?
what happened?
I researcher wandered off or something. I was trying to talk to our small merchant friend, but authorities came around and kind of surprised me.
That's okay. All right, I guess. Did we get any location, money, yada yada for this?
Yeah. Jack's got all that figured out.
Okay. Are they coming up here or are we going back down there?
I think they're coming over here, yeah.
Okay.
Eliza said she was hungry. She's all wrapped up. She's done with her selling
Then-
today.
Pardon.
Leanne will look around really quick to see if the person that helped us is still around.
Yeah, the Mopok lady is just literally standing behind the bar, smiling, watching you eat, because you're the only customers in here. Then when Leif walks in, she just kind of like saunters over. What can I get you?
I look down at what they're eating, and I imagine it's fairly standard fare, but it smells good. And like, yeah, I'll get some of the same, I guess. I think we have friends coming.
Oh, sit. Yes, let me get that right for you.
And bring out my coins. I think that was 3.
Sorry. I was muted. I tried to say things. It didn't work.
Oh no, sorry. Go ahead.
Do that too.
So we've taken on a second mission now.
Seems like
Yes,
it.
it's Eliza's friend. So Eliza's like, I think maybe she's all in too.
It's Eliza's friend.
This was Eliza's request or the guard's request?
Eliza's request.
Yeah, just people were talking. I guess I wasn't paying attention. Sorry. Jack has it all figured out.
Said the perfect person to explain all of this.
So Jack is the one that made the deal with everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna. I think
Yeah.
this will be interesting. I can't wait to see what they negotiate.
Wait. Who? Just kidding.
Yeah, so I assume
Let
they're
me-
gonna show up. I'm gonna eat.
That's fine. Go
I
ahead.
assume they are still in the square.
And you see, I'm still kind of sweaty from that encounter with that guard. A little bit overwhelming.
I think they're still in the square.
Yeah, how long would you stay out there, Jack and Hubert? Do you like immediately follow? You see Eliza just needs a few more minutes and then she's ready to go.
Yeah, leave her be. Yeah, go step out.
Okay, so you go with Leif.
Jack would wait for Eliza and the unseen servant to finish taking down the stall.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if Hubert's also here, then the question falls as well.
But
Hold
Jack would wait outside for a minute and talk to Eliza alone.
Okay. So we'll back up a little bit. So Hubert did go with Leif.
Right. So can Hubert provide more clarity on where this quest came from?
Jack. I think Jack had it all figured out.
Okay.
So Jack is the one that talked to whoever this was.
I'm not entirely sure.
Then yeah.
Okay. All right.
Ratchet's gonna go like try and sort this out now because he's not well happy here.
Okay.
And
So
then I think Leanne will also say in between all of this that he paid for the rooms, we got rooms here, and yada yada.
So before Ratchet leaves, Jack and Eliza do have a moment, but it's not a very long one. Is there anything you want to say, Jack?
Jack's just gonna crouch down so that they're eye level with Eliza.
Oh.
I think it would be best if you remained at the inn while we go searching for your friend.
Oh. I suppose there wouldn't be anyone to watch my cart, and I do need my cart when I get back to Alderheart. Okay. I'll stay. But wait, and she reaches into her bag and she pulls out a map and she scribbles down on it. This is the local area, and I think this is the cavern that the magistrate was talking about. This map here should help you get there.
Of course, don't worry about us. Just count your coins, and by the time you're done, we should be back.
Thank you so much for all your help today. I'm glad to have met you, and I hope that we can be friends.
Of course, and you never have to doubt my help. I love to spoil the cute ones.
You see that her whiskers kind of wiggle, and if she could blush, she would blush, but she's got a bunch of fur on her face. So I think her ears kind of turn a bit red. And she says, yeah, I'm hungry. Are you hungry? And then I think that's about when Ratchet comes out.
Mm-hmm. What is this that I hear about us taking on another mission?
Don't worry, I've got it all figured out.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh, yes, Kenna is a friend of mine. Kenna is a very sweet person, one of the local researchers here. Apparently she went out to a cavern to go investigate slimes by herself.
Jack will
And-
hold out the annotated map towards Ratchet.
We're taking on this. You were traveling with us. How do you know where she went for her research?
Oh, I've been through this area quite a bit. I think this is the cavern that they're talking about. I have seen it in my travels around, but I've never been inside, so I can't really help with that.
And you're paying us for this?
Well, no, of course not. The magistrate of the city is giving all 6 of us 5 gold.
The outpost. Magistrate of the outpost.
Of course.
Alden Crane.
So this is from from the magistrate for this mission.
Yes?
Where do I need to go to speak to the magistrate then?
She gestures north. You won't be able to miss it. Folks are generally not allowed inside of the magistrate's office, so one with the guards outside.
Guards. Good. Look, you both have had a long day. The food's actually pretty good. I'll be back shortly. The others are inside.
Are you okay?
We are somewhat under time pressure, and I'm not well pleased that we're taking on additional tasks. I'm sorry about your friend being lost, though.
See her look down at her toe beans, and she nods. Thank you.
Ratchet is off to the north.
Yeah. Phew! Let's go join everyone in the inn. I'm quite hungry.
As Ratchet zips off to the north, Jack is just gonna call out, "Don't take too long, Teardrop, or we'll leave without you."
As they come into the inn, I summon them over to the table, sit by me. Hurry, it's gonna get crowded in here.
You see the Mawpock tender here is extremely delighted that more people are coming in. And she essentially whips on towards the table and just slings food and drink.
Very
Jack
enthusiastic
orders
about
the
food and-
weirdest slime dish that they have.
It's called slime
Nice.
bone.
All right, and as soon as it arrives, they're gonna switch their dish with Leif's. Here, this will be good for you. Try it.
hold my fingers to my beak. Eliza, you want to try some of this? I make sure she has drink
Oh.
though. I make sure she has drink.
Okay, yeah, she takes a flagon of mead. She orders some berries and fruit and bread. Sorry, bread and fruit. And yeah, so Leif, you ordered something pretty standard and it's swapped with Jack's plate. Slime bone essentially looks like bone marrow. It looks like bone marrow, but instead of having bone marrow on the bone, it's just like this like gelatinous jello kind of like substance.
Do I think this might make me sick?
Go ahead and roll survival.
Or maybe nature?
Yeah, sure.
21.
Let me pull up the slime monster block.
And so meanwhile, while this is happening, also I see Jack is maybe on the other side of Eliza. And of course, we're both trying to talk to her. I can tell that the Jack is kind of like, I don't know, is maybe crushing on Eliza, but I'm trying to get Eliza's attention. So she's got this flagon that I paid for this flagon to be in front of her. I'm hoping, or I make sure that's true. And as Jack tries to get her attention, I kind of reach past Eliza and I just kind of nudge Jack on the shoulder to back up a little bit.
With a 21 nature, this is harmless. You can eat this. Whether or not it's actually nutritional is uncertain, but it won't kill you and you won't have weird poop.
So I dip a claw in it and I kind of put it in my beak and kind of maybe flick it with my tongue a little bit. Anybody who's watching carefully can see that most of it's still in my claw. And I make a very plainly fake sound of, yum.
Yeah, so Eliza takes this drink and says, "Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that." She takes it with both hands, and the thing's like bigger than her head, and she just slowly like, she slowly drinks the entire thing.
So I'm hoping this was good today, that you managed to sell a lot of stuff. I'm glad we were here to help. And just it kind of trails on for a while. I'm trying to kind of get her to warm to me. And it's maybe not for the same reasons as Jack, but I have an ulterior motive. And if she sticks around for a while, I'm just going to try to talk to her more and get to know what's going on. And if she reveals a little bit more, maybe I can find out what's been bugging her.
Is Leif an adult?
Leif is late teen. He's pre-adult, like 17-ish.
Okay.
And don't forget, he was emboldened by the company of his companions enough in his hometown there to talk at girls passing by.
Real quick, Jack is going to call over the Mapak keeper, the innkeeper, and just whisper, our friend here really shouldn't give a lady a drink without one of their own. Could you give him one a little watered down?
Oh, yes, I certainly can. And she'll give Leif like a glass of milk. Wait, it's nut milk. It's like oat milk. Yeah.
And then Jack is going to try to convince Leif that it's mead and that they they shouldn't let a lady drink alone.
So, 7 wisdom save.
Yeah, I guess.
11 deception.
Nice. Yeah.
Wow.
So you essentially have a flagon of oat milk here. So Eliza will warm up. She's very enthusiastic. She brings up little star moments that happened during the selling of the goods here. Essentially like, oh, do you remember when the two Corvum came up and they grabbed up everything on the left side of the cart? That was so wonderful. And essentially just highlight the things that you went through together here. And she begins to talk about various sales that were extremely out of pocket and extremely bizarre throughout her time as a traveling merchant. And she's basically sharing some stories. And at one point, she talks about her sister and says that her sister had been one of her favorite people to travel with. That she had opened up a shop in Alderheart.
Are you going to see your sister when you get there?
As you say that, her face drops a little bit.
Oh, what's wrong?
Oh, my sister's not around anymore. She says it with great grief.
I'm sorry
Down.
to hear that.
Yeah, it's actually the reason why I want to go to Alderheart. She left her store for me.
Oh,
I suppose a part of her will always be with me that way. She always said that it would be much safer than being on the road.
yeah, we miss family when we don't have them. I'm sorry to hear about that.
It's okay. And she looks up at you with a smile. You can see that her eyes are wet and wild, threatening tears, but her smile is genuine.
We'll make sure that you get there. That's important to us, too.
It means the world to me. Thank you so much. Meanwhile, Ratchet, you come up towards...
I think Z wanted to
Oh,
toss something in.
yes.
Yeah. I just wanted to really quick. I just wanted to flag down the Mopok that's running around.
Oh, yeah. She checks in on everyone, saying, like, oh, is everything all right? He's good. Yes. And she comes up to you, Leon. Anything else I can get you?
Thank you. Wrong accent. Sorry. Thank you so much. I was using the wrong character. Is there a spot here that one can send out a message to anybody, like a mail carrier or something of that nature in this area? Or
Oh, they definitely would.
With how dangerous this society is, wouldn't it either be the magistrate's office or traveling merchants?
Yeah, she says, oh, well, the magistrate does occasionally hire someone to send out any important messages. Otherwise, they are usually in the charge of people like Eliza. She pats Eliza on the back, and Eliza gives her a side hug. You can tell that they know each other.
I'll go into too much detail. I was separated from someone, and I want them to kind of know where I'm gonna be. So I just didn't know if there was a way I could send a message out, something like that, with somebody. So that's where I wanted to know.
Well, I can hold the message for you, or you can speak to the magistrate yourself. I suppose, depending on the urgency and how much you're willing to pay for it, it might determine how quickly it gets sent out. In all honesty, messages here don't get sent out very quickly.
Okay, Leon will sit and think about it. He's kind of debating if he just wants to wait until he gets to Alderheart to send the message or not. And then with since Eliza was brought into the conversation, Leon will look at Eliza and go, by the way, 2 rooms have been bought. You are more than welcome to take one of the beds. There should be enough for everyone.
Oh, thank you. Cheers. And she holds up her second flagon of mead. And she just like gulp, 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 gulp. And she just like drinks the whole thing. She has a surprising tolerance for being someone that's so tiny.
But that's all. I wanted to try and do the message thing.
Yeah. Fortunately, it seems that this is a bit remote for that purpose.
I think Leanne will just wait till we get to Alderheart.
So, meanwhile, Ratchet, you come up and you see that there are 2 militia folk standing in front of a rather stately building.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You see the one that addresses you is a Strig, and he has mostly brown feathers with dappled gray and white spots, kind of speckled. How can I help you?
I take it that this is the office of the magistrate.
It is indeed. Unfortunately, it is off limits to those without invitation.
The magistrate recently contracted my traveling companions and I for a task involving a missing member of your research town. I wish to speak to him about this mission.
See the two militia folk look at each other, and then they do step aside. Head on up. The magistrate is upstairs.
Okay. I'll head up and knock on the door.
Okay, enter. The door is unlocked. You are able to enter inside, and it is a pretty respectable dwelling here. You can tell that the magistrate lives and works out of here. There's another door that's open. You can see a bed on the other side. It looks like the magistrate is essentially finishing up for the evening, hiding things, and looks like he's about to head out. He looks to you up and down. Doesn't seem to recognize you. Can I help you?
I understand that you've contracted my traveling companions and I to search for a missing member of your community.
Oh, yes. You are one of the 8.
I'm not sure what you mean by that, but you spoke with Jack, the Vulpin traveling with us.
I did not get her name, but yes. Perhaps. Very likely.
We are already tasked with something quite important, and not to be callous, but I believe that far more than just one life hangs in the balance. You see, there's been encroachments of fire creatures. They've destroyed one of the towns, Ash Barrow, and we're concerned that they may be heading this way. I'm not sure we have the time to be looking for members of your community, though I am, of course, sorry to hear that they've gone missing. We are on our way to Alderheart.
See. And you can see that he's looking you up and down as you're talking. His eyes definitely hook on your face, and it's pretty clear he registers the distinct markings under your eyes, but he doesn't seem to flinch at that. Well, it is surprising to hear the fate of Ash Barrow. This is news to us. My condolences if you lost anyone there.
We left for Meadowfen quite promptly upon hearing the news ourselves. It does not surprise me that we are the first to carry the news as far as Winnowing reach.
Well, unfortunately, there's nothing I can do to help you. We don't have any wizards or sorcerers in the outpost currently. Nothing to expedite your message, unfortunately.
Would you perhaps have some manner of mount that might expedite our travel? Would not be so instantaneous as a spell, but it would at least, I suppose, make up for any time spent helping to find the one you've lost.
That's a great question. I'm pretty sure I saw somewhere there are... No, unfortunately, we don't have any beasts of burden to be of assistance. Our resources are quite limited here in the Reach, which is why we depend on folk like Eliza to come through.
Any...
I understand if you are unable to seek out Kenna. I don't think anyone would fault you for that. My only regret is that I don't have more hands get involved.
What I'm trying to look for here is I'm trying to look for a way to essentially like request a reward from Winnowing Reach that could be used to like make up for any lost time here. And don't know what that would be.
Yeah, let me see something real quick.
You'll just have to ask them if you can use their travel trebuchet, specifically for the birdfolk.
Look, here's the thing. I can glide, so that's not a crazy option. I've played plenty of Flash games where that's the exact concept. Bird in a catapult followed by gliding.
Yeah, unfortunately, he just shakes his head and shrugs his shoulders. The best I can do to help is more gold. I suppose I can increase it to 7 gold for each of your 8 party members.
You say 8. I'm not sure where you got that number from.
You're Ratchet. You're ruining everything.
Maybe if you'd told us, you specifically said to him when you talked to him outside of the tavern that we were getting 8 gold for each of the 5 of us. You specifically told him what the deal was and then lied to him.
Well, technically, Jack said
Was
5
it
gold for
5?
all 6 of us.
Well, 5
Yeah.
gold for all, well, you know what I mean. Like you specifically told him not the information the
Yes, I
magistrate
did
is saying
intentionally
now.
set up this situation and then get mad at you for doing it how I thought you would.
So you see the magistrate just narrow his eyes at you, and he says, 6 of you. Yes. 8 gold each.
8 gold for 6. That's...
If you are, in fact, tied for time, then perhaps you can eke out a path tonight through the marsh. Forfeit some sleep. I unfortunately don't have any other means to help you. This is the extent of how much I can help.
I do believe that we were able to draw together a map from Eliza. Between that and some night travel, hopefully we can set a path quickly.
Yes.
Well,
You see that he also
wish there was more.
reaches to grab a map, and it's a much more official looking map. It's pretty obvious that the researchers in the area have been substantial about surveying it. And so this map is not hand-drawn. It is like more geographical, made by a cartographer. And he will circle and draw direct paths and hand you this map.
Right.
These are known routes that are safe to navigate through mock fields.
I appreciate this. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Kenna is a valued member of our community. I understand the weight of the mission you already have.
Very well. I appreciate your time. I know that it's getting late. Have a good day.
You as well. He turns away from you and continues packing away his things. Did you want to head back to the inn or go anywhere else?
I was just thinking if this were like not a like module, like a written campaign, if it was something that could be fully winged, I would totally be like, Ratchet wanders off alone. He's got a map. If he can bring the person back by morning, we can all just go.
So,
But-
This is how you die.
well, I mean, you... What's your favorite terrain again? You have favorite terrain?
I do not have
The
favorite
sky.
terrain. I dropped it in favor of Deft Explorer,
Okay,
which makes me exceptional at perception.
gotcha. You could try scouting ahead. It is very dangerous to go alone. If something happens to you, I can't
know.
guarantee you plot armor.
I know.
Yeah, so I mean, it
Do
is
you
an
have
option.
dark vision?
I
Some of you have dark
honestly
vision.
I
don't
have dark
remember if I get dark vision.
I don't know if the bird folk get dark vision.
I think it was
If so, you
only
would have to
Oh,
use
I'm
it.
Strig.
sure do.
Yeah,
You would have to use a
you know
torch
what?
at night.
Hubert
You know what?
has dark
No, I
vision.
don't, because in our session 0 that was a problem.
Leon has dark
Oh.
vision. Jack has dark vision. Does Eliza have
Yeah, a
dark
lot of the humble folk, not all of them, get dark vision.
Yeah, Leif doesn't have dark vision. You and Leif do not.
Okay. I'm gonna say that despite the desire to go just take care of this himself, he's kind of a loner by nature anyways, but think he I think he has enough survival instinct to know that not having dark vision and going into a geography that he doesn't know already at night is not a wise plan. So I think he's smart enough to be like, okay, I hate that I have to wait for the rest of the group, but let's go meet back up with them.
Okay.
Now,
yeah.
what would make this really funny is if I left without the rest of the group after Ratchet has this
Oh my
whole soliloquy about
God.
it.
Okay, so Ratchet comes back as y'all are finishing up your food, and Eliza does a big stretch and yawns. Ugh, I think I'm going to hit the hay now. Night, everyone.
Sleep well, cherub.
Okay. She heads off into one of the rooms.
Is she sure-footed as ever, or is the alcohol beginning to show?
No, she's very steady, actually. She seems
Fan-
close to sober.
Fantastic.
How
Yeah.
is Leif doing with their alcoholic, non-alcoholic oat milk?
A little bit gassy.
Me too. Me too.
Oof, too relatable.
Oat milk is not friendly to the guts. Okay, is there anything anyone wants to do before heading off to bed?
Jack would talk to Ratchet about what they went off to go do with the magistrate.
Oh,
This would be interesting to listen to.
So, would you like to elaborate to the rest of us about your little trip?
we don't. I'm worried about how this side trip to go find, I think Kenna was the name the magistrate said. I I worry how it'll affect our ability to get our message back to Alderheart quickly. We are somewhat on a time crunch, and we have an entire town that is resting on whether or not we can accomplish this. I went to speak with the magistrate and see if, as a part of our deal, anything could be done to expedite our journey, but apparently they don't have any spare mounts or caravans or any wizards of note, which I'm not exactly sure who's doing the research if they don't have the intelligentsia here.
And did you ask them if they had a larger cart?
I did not specifically request a larger cart. I don't think a larger cart does anything faster than a smaller cart.
It allows us to work through the night, as some could carry others.
Perhaps that is something for us to check in the morning.
In the morning, if you're so concerned of time, why not go now?
Don't see as well as night. Only a fool would go out in the dark to a terrain they're unfamiliar with, especially one that you can easily sink into like this bog. You should know that. You navigated those woods quite well.
Of course, I'm never unsure of where I step, unlike some. The dark isn't a factor for me.
Trust you me, I very much wish that I could be out there at this very moment working on resolving this sooner rather than later, but fortunately that doesn't seem to be much of an option, unless of course you're willing to leave.
Jack holds up one finger. Well, why not make it interesting then? Everybody loves to split a party. Why don't those of us that can see in the dark go now, and the rest can come at first light? If it seems too dangerous, we'll wait for you, and if not, we can just rescue the lass ourselves.
You can see Ratchet doing the math in his head about who that puts in each of the groups.
Funnily enough, it's 3 and 3.
Casual reminder that everyone's level 1 still.
So, a question for you:
Is it 3 and 3s or?
What is the state of the sky? Is it a moonlit, clear evening sky?
Ooh, great question. Let's see. It is cloudy.
We are also supposed to be heading into a cavern.
Thing is, though, this is a place where research is happening, right?
Hmm.
So if it's not illuminated, maybe it should be.
Fair point.
You do see there are sconces and torches and various light sources here in Winnowing Reach, but it doesn't seem to extend very far out of the outpost.
Worried about time. Let's all go right now.
Well, Jack, if you can get the other members who can see well in the dark to go along with you now, then by all means, get an early lead.
But that's
The party. Split the party. Split the party.
I mean, if y'all want to, that's totally fine by me.
Stella, like, please God, don't split the party.
No. no, you can. I encourage it. From
When I find Jack's corpse, I'm going to melt down those stupid bangles.
damn.
Look, they hate what they ain't got.
Okay. I think it's pretty safe to say that as the group of you are deliberating, do we go now? Do we go later? Do we even go? You probably pull out the maps and you look at them. Let me get a survival check from one person.
Not me.
I think it would make the most sense for Jack since she'd be leading the night expedition.
Okay. Roll me survival.
Natural 20.
Wow.
Wow.
Total of
Wow.
24.
Okay, fine then.
This is what you get for doubting me?
Okay. So, with a natural 20 into a 24, Jack, you're looking at these maps and you remember a bandit trail that is way faster than either of these. Way faster than Eliza's suggested trail, way faster than the magistrate's official recordings and surveys. There's one trail that cuts straight through the heart of the mock fields and will take you right to the caverns. It is dangerous, but it is fast. If you go now, you will probably be able to get there, start investigating, and maybe be back by first light.
So
It is very dangerous.
Jack takes a moment to study the maps. Oh, these are quite familiar to me. There's a path we can take, and she drags a claw from the village towards the cavern. If we were quick enough, we could even be back by first light.
Go.
Though, as always, the woods are a bit unsafe at the moment.
We'll say, Jack, with that natural 20, you would also know there's strength in numbers. So even if not all of you can see very well in the dark, just being together might help your chances. You can split the party if you want. Say.
Either way, we'll need torchlight in the cave.
Yes, absolutely.
If you all were willing, on the chance to fight more bandits, we could probably be there and done within the night. Though a light is likely to bring trouble.
Be on a bit of a time crunch, or we have to get to Alderheart by a certain point to warn people about stuff.
I don't think we have like a deadline. It's not like get to Alderheart by the end of the month, but there's a threat coming at an unknown time, and the earlier we get to Alderheart, the more likely it is that we get there before the bad thing happens.
An unknown
it's like-
disaster has happened, and we don't know if it's going to happen again.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, if you still think we can do that because aren't all of us, if we don't sleep, aren't all of us going to be just a little bit tired traveling the next day?
Sure.
Figure that out tomorrow.
Jack gives you a little wink and says, "Haven't you stayed up all night before?"
I mean, yes, I have. I've done it for training and things, but I didn't want to push it unless everyone else also wanted to, but I can't turn down a challenge. It's not who I am. So if everyone else wants to go, I can go. I'm also pretty good about seeing in the dark. Got kind of lucky.
One of you in the front, one of you in the back, everybody in the middle. Let's do this.
Okay.
Key.
All right.
I was like, thank goodness they're all going together.
All right.
We're gonna find like a dragon slime in that cave.
Make sure that we're paid up before we leave for extra drinks and things. How much should I drop?
You'll be fine. It was 3 silver each.
Look, guys, I'm working on a thing for one of my other campaigns. We needed an ooze. The highest level ooze is only a challenge rating 10. We'll be fine.
What's our combined challenge rating?
1.5.
It'll be fine.
Estella looking at the next page of the book. Please, God, go as a group.
Okay, so feel free to adjust yourselves with your marching order. You are heading south at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, so as you're moving through the swamp, I'll carry over that survival check. You are leading pack, Jack. And the swamp itself, as you're cutting through it, is pretty intense. You hear bugs buzzing all around you. You can see that there are various swarms of harmless insects that threaten to distract you as you're making your way through. You're making a good pace. And you are coming across what appears to be a bit of a bog. You're going to have to dip in and out of various marshy waters here. Do you, however, about halfway towards the caves, realize that it's quiet.
But not too quiet, right?
Oh no, that one was too quiet.
It's fine when things are quiet. You just don't want them to be too quiet. That's when you know you're in danger.
It's a little too quiet, and I hear music.
It's pretty obvious because of how loud croaking and the buzzing was previously. You hit a part of the marsh where there's no sound at all.
It's too quiet.
It's too quiet.
Damn it.
I listen intently at the too quiet.
Okay. Roll me perception. 17. It's quiet.
Well, like,
It's too quiet.
It's super quiet. It's the kind of quiet that something's wrong.
Are there any ripples in the bog? Or I know there'd be like gases and stuff, but any larger ripples?
Roll me perception.
I'm great at this.
All
So nat
Are
1,
you?
3. Yeah.
Are you though?
Yeah, I have a 2.
You don't see any ripples.
wanna-
Better than
I
what I
want to
got.
twist this around. Can I do an animal handling to see if I can come up with what kind of thing might make animals react like this? Either abandon the area or stop making noise to like.
Yeah, sure.
I'm better at that.
Wow.
23.
Okay.
I'm better at that than I am at nature. So
With a 23, your instincts tell you that either magic or a predator.
okay.
¿Por qué no los dos?
Could be both. It could be both. That's
It could
true.
be both too.
Stella does love displacer beasts.
I do. Displacer beasts are fucking awesome.
I think just like the first thing that comes to Ratchet's mind as far as magic, because it's the first thing that comes to my mind, is like the silence spell. So I think he's just gonna like snap his fingers next to his own ear to make sure he can hear sounds at all, as like a baseline.
Yeah, all of you hear Ratchet snapping his fingers.
Are you all right up there?
Someone has to do it in character.
That's
It's quiet. Too quiet.
Noticed the volume went away. I thought maybe something was wrong with my ears.
That's what I was
Just gonna
checking.
stand here and admire the problem. Let's go.
Well, we're probably about to be eaten. I could get their attention if you'd like.
It's fine. Turn order just showed up.
Yeah.
Everything's gonna go great.
I see. I see some order that needs to be turned. I just ate. I don't know if I need to put it in order.
Leon, would you be a deer?
No, I'm a wolf.
She just gives you like a look of disgust.
That was fantastic, Z.
I try.
You can mark DM inspiration for that.
Yes. Oh,
That was
for future
terrific.
reference, I know you've done that once or twice. Does that carry over?
The
You give
DM
it, or-
inspiration one, yes. You can
Okay.
mark it on your character sheet.
I will.
It's a little dragon icon in the core. Where'd it go? Right here.
Oh my god, Leif,
Oh.
are you
Okay.
gone?
Cool.
Goodbye, GeekDice. Lost forever.
Where'd you go?
Yeah, I don't know. I got this new keyboard and it is super sensitive. You just barely bump a key and it registers.
Did you just delete your
Oh,
character?
I did.
You-
I'm invisible.
Hey, that'll be great for this
Mhm.
fight.
Then whenever I do want to use it, do I just click on it?
Mhm.
Or
Yeah, to
use it?
you just tell me.
Oh, okay. We'll do then.
So close to my third 20 of the game.
I'll just use my regular initiative for this. Hooray.
Yeah. Oh, y'all are rolling initiative. Okay.
Yep.
Well, you
I
put up a
mean-
turn order thing.
Yeah.
I was waiting for
We know
someone
what
to
that
do something.
means.
Hubert. Okay, there you go. All right. So we're not in turn order yet.
We're not, but I
Sorry,
mean, it's not like adding ourselves to it's gonna hurt anything.
No, it's not.
But what is gonna hurt us is I'm gonna cast Unearthly Chorus.
Okay. Music of a style you choose fills the air around you in a 30-foot radius. All right, hold on. Let's see. Where are you? Okay,
Are you trying to
30-foot radius.
Are you trying to scare the animals or gather the animals?
Both.
So
Fantasy
how this
folk
comes
music.
out is a lot of Jack's music starts with a clap, but this time you see them take the bangles and almost scrape them against each other for a moment, starting a loud shriek that grows and stretches until it becomes eerie and transitions into an almost horror-filled music.
Okay.
A lot of discordant sounds.
Yeah. Be heard up to 100 feet away.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how does everyone react to this? You hear screeching and unearthly noises coming from the bangles.
What magic word?
Who would
did-
do that?
What magic word did Jack say to cause this magic to be?
Jack would look at the others, specifically Leon, and say, "Let's dance," and then move behind Leon.
Okay.
Let's dance.
No, I'm not familiar with the horror tango, but I'll try.
All right.
That magic in the air.
As Jack moves behind Leon, like there.
Kind of like where Leif is, just in the middle of everyone, so that if something flies at me, there's other people in the way.
Nice.
Like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So shortly after you hear this discordance ring out from Jack, something disturbs the water. You hear the sound of rippling and then something emerging out as up ahead, those that can see in the dark, you see these skeletal beings. Begin to emerge.
Oh, it's got a little helmet.
Yeah.
So is this dim light or darkness? Because I think if it's dim light, we can still see. We just attack at disadvantage.
Yes,
I
it's
think.
dim light. Which will probably be a telltale sign that once you're in the caverns, it will be completely dark. So you see these three figures emerge out from the bog water here, and the skeletal heads resemble birdfolk as the beaks swivel in the direction of Jack, the hollows where eyes would be pointed in her direction. And they will now roll initiative.
From the bog.
Ow. They're dead last. Haha, I get it, because they're skeletons.
Oh.
Because they're really slow.
Oh.
We are now at the top of the turn order. Leif, you are up first.
Everybody, don't get in front of me. I'm gonna blast them, but let them come to us. And I imagine they're moving slow, right?
No.
No? Okay. So I'm gonna prepare a spell.
We'll say they burst out of the water to give you a sense of how fast they move.
Nice. So I've warned my companions not to get in front of me. I'm going to prepare a spell. If I can get two of them into a 15-foot cone, I'm going to unleash the spell Frost Fingers, which comes out as a 15-foot cone.
Okay.
But I want them to close in, and once I get two or more inside the cone, then I'm going to release.
Okay.
So if they don't come into range, then I've lost my turn.
Okay.
That's my action.
Very good. Jack, it is your turn.
Can you hold bonus actions?
Generally no. But tell me what you're trying to do here.
Because the secondary effect of Unearthly Chorus is that I can, as a bonus action, or something in the bubble to make a charisma saving throw. If they fail, they become friendly for an hour.
Okay.
Which you could
So I'd want to use that on one of them.
You can approach a little bit.
Yeah, you can move. So I've added an aura. You can see that darker circle. That's your range. That's the 30-foot radius. So you could, for example, move here, and then you can do that immediately if you wanted.
Yeah, but in chess, you don't have the queen move immediately.
Well,
Like we need some pawns out there.
Unfortunately, I'm gonna say no for this, but you can hold your action for like an attack or something.
Well, then I will move over here and have the red one do a saving throw.
Okay. Charisma check. Wow, nat 20.
Wow. And that 20 is only a 17. It has a -3 to charisma. That's good to know.
Yep. So it saves. So I don't think anything happens.
I still have my regular action.
Mhm.
I have to look up the spell itself. What is this? Because my racial trait gives me a spell, but it doesn't say what it does.
Okay.
Are these considered humanoids?
They are very clearly undead, which is not humanoid.
Okay. So then Charm Person will not work on that.
It will not.
So then I will just pass my turn from here.
Okay. Hubert, it is your turn.
Could move back. Jack.
You could move back to the original spot if you wanted, Jack. You still have movement.
Okay. Just a little shuffle back and forth.
Hubert. You see 3 skeletons in front of you. They are wearing different color tabards that are waterlogged and eaten away. Red tabard, a golden tabard, and a green tabard.
Hubert's gonna move most of his movement to there.
Okay.
I can't interact with that, but range to that. Let's see.
Range.
20 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Hubert will throw a javelin at the green undead.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing special.
Oof. You hit like a truck. 21 is absolutely a hit. The armor class is 12.
Nice.
8 piercing damage. You huck this javelin at the skeleton here, and you see it pops off its head. It goes straight through the skull. It rips off the skull, the helmet, but the body is still upright. Devastating blow.
That's it.
All right.
That's...
Okay. Ratchet, it is your turn.
Jack, what are these things?
Well, they look like skeleton birds.
Skeletons. Great. What do I know about skeletons?
Skeletons.
You can roll me a nature check.
What do you know about
For
birds?
nature checks. Ooh.
Yeah, or Arcana.
Oh, 20 for nature.
Okay, a dirty
There we
20.
go.
Very good.
Dirty 20, yes.
Yeah, so what do you know about skeletons? You know that unnatural life will sometimes possess deceased bird folk. And it is 100% a product of necromancy. Anyone would know that necromancy is forbidden in practice, but it is still taught in theory at the Avium, which is the essentially like magical college of Alderheart. It's generally the same stigma as most classic fantasy settings. It's seen as a violation of the memory of the people they used to be and their bodies, but some kind of undead power is the cause of their animation. They don't feel, they don't reason, they are monsters.
So, I don't actually, I assume this carried to 5th edition. I know it from earlier ones, but I'm curious if Ratchet knows. Do they still resist damage from piercing?
I will say that it depends on the creature in 5e, so it isn't necessarily just a blanket thing.
Okay, because skeletons used to always be piercing, didn't? Because between bones and.
Yeah, I would say with the 20, what might help is that bludgeoning damage is extremely effective. I'll leave it at that.
That was the other question I had. So then, Ratchet has pieced together enough that he can get from bird skeleton, and he's gonna pull out one of his torches. He hasn't had it lit for this because he didn't want to draw attention. However, it is essentially a club.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm just going to ready to attack, following Leaf's proposed attack that we were asked to wait for.
Okay. So you pull out your torch and you light it, correct?
Oh, I wasn't gonna take the time to light it.
Okay. Okay. Never mind. Let me turn this off then.
Just to use it as an improvised club.
Yes, you can definitely do that as a free action. Okay, and sorry, you're delaying your action?
I'm gonna delay. Leaf had asked that we like let them come in closer, so I'm gonna let that happen first, and I'll be part of the cleanup crew.
Gotcha. Okay, sounds good. Leon, it is your turn.
I want to also see if I know kind of the same stuff Ratchet knows or not. If Leon knows any of that.
Okay, go ahead and roll a nature or arcana check.
Nature, Arcana.
Roll a bones check.
Bones.
Ah,
Wow.
my God.
Nat 20.
Nat
That's
20.
a nat
Yeah.
20. Okay.
Zero. I have no advantage or disadvantage to that, so that's great.
Yeah, you'll have to tell me how you know this.
I don't know.
But let's see.
They had an anatomical model you used for wrestling practice. You got really good about skeletons.
Yeah.
So everything I told Ratchet, you know, but you also know that the birdfolk skeletons specifically, they're immune to poison and they're immune to exhaustion, but they don't have any resistances. So if you do piercing damage, etc., it'll be normal.
Okay.
You know how to break bones, brother.
Yeah, know how to break bones. There we go. Yeah, know how to break bones.
You also know that they understand birdfolk but they can't speak.
Okay. So I think Leon will just go ahead and just say this, so everybody knows now everything. Just to be, you know, kind of a oh, I remember learning about these. I saw this in a book once, and we'll just say he had interest in skeletons and stuff like that. For the same reason people have like interest in dinosaurs and bones and stuff, you know, that kind of like fascination. So he'll do that, and then in the same vein as, you know, waiting to see what's gonna happen. I'll ready my Warhammer. I was gonna actually try and grapple one of them, but I think for this particular instance, I'll just go ahead and get my Warhammer ready.
Yeah.
So I know bludgeoning and smashing the bones would be better than taking them down. So.
Mash the bones.
Okay.
I'm gonna mash the bones into a good powder.
So they technically move at the same time. So let's see. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. All right. How far out does your cone go, Leif?
It's only 15 feet. So fortune did not shine on me. I only got one. And I had held the spell. So as soon as he came within 15 feet,
yeah,
I would have blasted him.
Okay. Yep.
So
that
maybe
triggers.
Move him back a couple squares.
Yeah. So like there.
Okay. So I released the spell that I prepared.
Let's see if this will work.
A DC 14 Constitution save versus cold. Half save for half.
Cold.
Nice. Thank you so much.
It doesn't show
Although
on the
it's
stream.
technically a cone.
I know. I don't have a cone. I'm not that cool.
What the heck? Thank you.
It didn't show last time either, and that made me sad rewatching it.
Yeah.
DC 14 con.
You know, if I wasn't always blasted by balance, I could cast Fairy Fire. That'd be pretty helpful here.
That.
There you
Hey,
go.
Cool. Look at that.
A cone of cold.
So the narrative on the spell, of course, this is verbal somatic, and the words that come out of my mouth are the arcane language through primordial. I know some of the primordial languages, so that's how I manifest my magic. It's verbal and somatic. It's quite simply holding up my sword staff as a pointer, and I point in the direction of where I want this blast of furious snow. It's like a little section of a blizzard that appears at the end of my staff, and these ice crystals shoot out and cover the creature in the ground. And what it says is the cold freezes non-magical liquids in the area that aren't being worn or carried. So if this is marshy, the ground is wet, its feet are buried in the bog, it's now frozen for the moment. Cold freezes non-magical liquids in the area that aren't being worn or carried.
Okay.
And the damage is 9 damage, save for half.
Rolls an 11.
9 cold. It's failed.
Okay, so it takes 9 cold damage. Oops.
And as I
Feel
cast
that
this
chill in your
spell,
bones.
there's this. My head is kind of thrown back, and you can see this excited, wonderful look on my face as I reach out and I'm grasping at the magic in the world and channeling it through my body and through this sword staff. You can see it's got this look of ecstasy on my face as I wrangle the magic of the world to unleash the force.
You hear the ice shards smashing against the skeleton and any remnants of armor it has. Devastating. You see it blowing away bits and pieces, a bit of clavicle here, a finger there, but it is still up. And then it moves forward.
And I guess actually, that was my. I held that in action. Yes, that was my turn. Gotcha.
Okay.
I was holding to allow Leaf. Does that mean I go now?
I think it would have been better if y'all like moved up because you
Oh, hey,
technically
a second
can't. Huh?
A second leaf just appeared.
Oh, that must be where the original one went. You would have known that they would have come up, so I think like there.
Okay.
Unfortunately, when you hold an action, you can't move and act.
I see.
Unless you wanted to use a range attack, in which case you'd be back here.
No, it's fine. They were not close enough for me to hit them, so that's how that happened.
Okay. Do you want to be there or here?
There probably makes more sense.
So it is your trigger now, Leon. As my cat sits right on the deck of many things.
The deck of many cat butts.
What does Lucky pick for a card?
Lucky picks the skull card.
No!
Oh,
No!
Well, we'll see what you've done now.
Now the
Hey, that's very
birdfolk
fitting.
skeleton gets bigger. No, I'm kidding.
Oh!
Holy shit, 23 is a hit.
Roll the DM hits.
Yep.
I'm scared for the day when we hear 23 is not a hit.
It is quite possible. This campaign does go up to like level 10 or something. Okay. With the 8 damage, you absolutely clobber it before it even gets into attack range. What does this look like?
So Leon's gonna grab his warhammer and go, time to grind some bones into dust, and then he proceeds to just kind of whack it like straight on, kind of like how like you've seen in like Looney Tunes cartoons where it's just like the mallet just goes whomp and then the whole thing just kind of goes under the mallet almost, sort of that same motion where it kind of goes down like that.
I like to imagine like because of the force of that, and also because there's like frost from Leif's spell, that it literally just shatters.
Yeah, it's just little crystals of ice just kind of go everywhere, or like little ice bones go everywhere, and he just like slams it down, and
Pulverized
and all that. Yeah. Oh yeah, I think the cold helped it keep a little bit more sturdy, so it's good.
Yeah. Okay. So the one wearing the yellow tabard will swing at Hubert for an 18. That's definitely a hit. You take 4 piercing damage as the short sword thunk.
Hang on a second. I got a thing.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
There's magic happening.
Yes, there's magic happening.
Oh.
Okay. So it's verbal. I say an arcane word. It hangs on the air for a moment. As I cast this spell, I'm up on the tippy toes of my claws, and my arms are kind of outstretched as I say this. And you hear a sound with my voice. It sounds like maybe it's a snap in time. And what happens is this creature that just struck my companion, suddenly it has to attack again. I've cast silvery barbs. With a word, I've forced this thing to deal with fate, and it's forced to re-roll its attack and take the lower roll.
Oh, okay. Rolls a 6.
So it misses. And the secondary effect of the spell is I choose a different creature I can see within range, and the chosen creature has advantage on its next attack roll, ability check, or saving throw that it makes within a minute. But that's one roll, and I give that boon to Hubert Hootenanny.
Okay.
So I've blown my wad.
Excellent.
I've used my spells for the day.
Before the cave too. Okay. You see the short sword is about to hit you, Hubert. You hear the arcane words from over your shoulder as Leif casts some spell very quickly, and it disrupts somehow. The swing goes wide and it crushes into the dirt beside you instead of onto your body. However, this other skeleton, one that doesn't have a head, swings at you, the 12, so it misses. It essentially, what you see is that it like turns to a completely different direction and just like thwonks onto like a giant mushroom over here to the side. That's their turn. Leif, it is your turn now. Muted.
Unmute. With a small raven hop, I hop forward, and I bring down my sword staff as a pointer, and I unleash a bolt of fire that arcs across. I say a word in Ignan as I blast him with a firebolt.
Which one?
Don't forget the
Wow.
huge sucking and squelching sound as you hop through the
my
fog.
God.
So there's a huge blast of fire for 19 points of damage with a crit.
Wow.
To the gold tabard or the green tabard?
The yellow one.
Okay. Instantly burned to a crisp.
I do a little victory dance, and spinning in a circle. Yeah.
This is for my players. Unfortunately, it won't show on the stream.
Nice.
But it shows for us.
Fire.
Nice. Okay. Anything else for you? Any more movement?
No, I'm good.
Jack, it's your turn.
All right. Pulling out the rapier from somewhere, Jack is going to slide up and thrust it at the green tabard skeleton.
Very good.
Oh no.
That's another nat one.
This is a wild game.
I think
If I just had a spell slot, I could do that silvery barbs again. I don't know.
I think what happens is you try to hit the skeleton and it turns in such a way that you would have definitely hit it if it still had a head, but it doesn't have a head. So you hit nothing.
Yeah, because it was behind Hubert the whole time, I didn't know it had a head, so right as I turned the corner thrusting for the kill shot. Wait
Yeah.
a minute.
All right. You do have a bonus action.
Yeah, sure. Let's end this. I'll give my bardic inspiration to Hubert so that their next attack can add a d6.
Okay. Hubert,
You weren't going to use your unearthly chorus to make it your friend?
Can't, it's in combat. It's actively fighting people.
Oh, my bad.
Okay. So, Hubert, it's your turn. You have 2 buffs on you right now. You have advantage on your next attack roll, and you also have a bardic inspiration on you.
I don't know what this roll.
So
I'll
we can
do
just
I'll
add
do
it on
two-handed
after.
Swing. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll do a two-handed swing.
Okay, that's a
It does-
hit.
It does show the advantage there. Okay, which is good.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead and roll for damage.
6 slashing.
That's exactly what you needed. How do you kill it?
Nice.
A slash across the shoulder, down, just shattering the rib cage, and it just collapses into a pile.
Pile of bones hits the ground beside you.
Right, good work, Geek Dice. We've used all of our resources and spell slots.
Bingo. Can we take a rest?
Yeah, I know we were trying to be
With the whole
but what if we
point.
just took...
No, now the grind starts.
All of you go back to Metafin. I'm finishing this quest on my own.
With the last skeleton felled, noise begins to fill the area around you. We're halfway to the caverns.
Halfway there.
Continue.
Right, well, back in procession, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
This probably wears off.
Check the remnants of these enemies for any valuables, anything interesting. See
If
they
there's
have
anything
any
valuable
intel
in
on
the
them.
ice dust I made.
See if they're like the last group of heroes to travel here.
There are
That was it.
3 short swords, and that's it. They're very rusty, and they are smelly.
Loot log.
Yeah.
For some reason, there's 72 arrows.
There shouldn't be. Those are mine.
Hubert, you did throw your your javelin. If you want to go find it, I'll need a perception check from you. You have dark vision, so you get to do this at advantage. Wait, do you not have dark vision? You do.
Yeah.
You do. 15. Okay, you find it. Find it in the bog. You can add that back to your inventory. Okay. So, as the group of you continue on, you find that the path begins to swerve out of the deeper bog and into a more hilly area. There are these thick willow trees that surround you on all sides. However, with the help of the map that was given to you, annotated by both the magistrate and also Eliza, you find that there is a cave entrance in the side of one of these hills. As you're approaching cave entrance,
Let's all go in the cave.
okay, I have to move.
So as we arrive at the cave, take a close look around the area, and I nudge my more rangerly companions. I say, "Do you see evidence of activity? Is this the place? Are people coming and going?" Kind of survey the exterior of the cave and the area, the environs around there. Does it look like there's a campsite? Do you mind if I take a short rest? Just 10 minutes?
Do you mind if I sleep for 8 hours or so?
There doesn't seem to be a camp at the cave entrance. You come right up to it. You can see that the inside of the cave, from where you are, it is completely dark. It is damp and it is dank. It smells pretty strong.
So I see we have one companion who is injured. I guess I stand close to Hubert and I look at him. Do you have bandages or something? Are you okay?
Muted.
Do you need to rest?
No, I'll be okay. Thank you. Ooh, me? Nah.
You see Let me get
So
perception checks.
I go to my next traveling companion,
Huh?
to Ratchet. Hey Ratchet, do you think you want to take a breather? Maybe a
Are you
moment.
just bouncing from each party member trying to see if they want to rest for you?
I was gonna offer to sit with you, but
Leon.
I'm gonna give Stella her requested perception,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna use one of my pocket 20s.
Oh, who needs a pocket 20 when you got nat 20s?
Okay. This is
Yeah.
great. This is perfect. You'll get different information here. Okay. So, as y'all are kind of hanging out by the entrance of the cave here, Ratchet, with your nat 20 that you use, you immediately spot hanging from the ceiling near the entrance, not like immediately, but let's say like about 10 feet in, there are two bulbous, gelatinous bodies hanging from the ceiling, and they're burbling.
Oozes like to do that.
Are they cute burbles?
Let me look at the
Squelching.
picture. Yeah, it's pretty cute.
Oh,
Here. Only Ratchet
Okay.
sees this right now.
but like as a group, what if we had a pet slime?
That's what that looks like to you, Ratchet. So far, you're the only one who sees that.
That would
Ah.
Jack like slime wrangling.
Aw.
For Jack, with your nat 20,
Mm-hmm.
you're looking at the ground instead, and you immediately spot a set of tracks. They look to be birdfolk tracks, and they look recent, heading into the cave.
Do I see anything anything else of note within the 60 feet of dark vision?
You also see the slime, but after Ratchet does.
Also, I can't see it in color because of dark vision.
Yeah.
Hey, Ratchet, tell everyone.
You don't have to.
Got these.
Yeah, you just keep it a secret.
Surprise!
I mean, it did sound like people were trying to maybe stop out here first, but Ratchet will fill in. I don't see any signs that a research group came through here.
Well, there
Are
are
we sure we've arrived?
there are tracks at the bottom of the cave.
Ah, well.
You see them as they're pointed out.
Just had to wait until you would sound foolish.
Much appreciated.
So I
But
think. Go ahead.
it does appear that whoever made those tracks is not alone in this cave. And I'll point up towards the ceiling where there's two not stalactites.
They burble.
Aw.
Burble.
Can I
Yeah,
do
not
a
a cute
check to
burble.
know how hostile those slimes normally are?
You can do a nature or arcana.
Let's go with the nature. 10.
Not sure.
Okay.
Could be a casual burble.
They
Could be
are
a really nasty
they are
burble.
casually burbling right now. And thank you for the raid. Welcome in, raiders. Hi.
Has it been pointed out to everybody?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, can I also check to know if I know anything about this?
Yeah, sure.
All right, everyone, start rolling.
8. Nope.
Yeah.
This looked a little bit like the food that Leif ate earlier.
Oh, it's
Is
a
that
jello
what you
mold.
were
I'm sorry.
eating?
Oh,
Is that
is it food? Oh.
Looks at right at Leif and points right up. Is that what you were eating earlier?
What?
Jack's going to take out a pocket ration, hand it to Leon, and tell them to throw it at the slime.
He really wants a pet slime.
What? I wanna.
Eat
You
it.
know what? I'm gonna.
Beeps.
Okay, hold on. I want to do something with that.
Okay.
If I may,
Huh?
I want to roll a nat 20. If it's 1 to 10, I throw it. If it's 11 to 20, I don't throw it.
Okay, so you just want to roll a d20.
Yeah,
Okay, go
if
ahead.
that's okay with you.
Yeah. So one sec. You'll
sorry.
have to. You're fine. Okay, so you 15. So, what was it that you wanted to do?
I just wanted to be like more or less like I myself I don't test it. I don't trust it because I've played with V, but I wanted to see if the character would go, maybe it would be a fun idea or not to do it, or if they would also know. No, that's probably not a good idea. So that
Okay.
was the whole point of the roll.
Okay. So whatever you want to do, you can throw at it if you want. It is essentially a stationary thing, so it will hit. So what do you do?
Hand back the ration. I'm not gonna do that. I have a bad feeling that I shouldn't do.
All right, I immediately throw the ration.
Okay.
God damn it.
You huck the ration, and you all hear a boom, 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 as the ration goes right into one of the bulbous bodies of these slimes, and it slowly floats around inside of it. You see that the weight of the ration is pulling at it, and gravity just slowly as it unsuckles from the ceiling and wet slaps onto the ground, and it slowly begins to crawl towards you. And that is where we're going to end our session for today.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
Will we capture a slime and turn it into a pet? You'll have to tune in till next time to find out. But until then, let's do some outros. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much to all of our Patreons. Because of them, everything that we do here is possible. And all the lovely people you see on the screen here are such people. We're going to go around. We'll start off with Zombie. Tell us who you are, where we can find you, and what your favorite part of the episode was.
Hello, I'm Jacob. I'm Zombie MZ. What is your name to call me? I'm the lore keeper and Captain Z of the Good Ship Clip. I probably do too many clips, but that's up to your own discretion. A little bit about myself. Well, if there's a link there that's been put there really awesomely for Twitcher. If you go there, I have a little pinned tweet. In that pinned tweet, there is a link. Why my brain blinked on link? I don't know. Link there. To show all of my work in like a little Google doc, because one day I was like, I should do that because it'd be easier just to collect all my work and send it in one form. So there's a bunch of stuff in there, different highlights that I've done for Stella over the years, such as the RE2 screaming montage that's on there, so you can view that if you want to see Stella freak out about zombies every 2 seconds. Things like that.
That's 15 minutes of straight up screaming, by the way.
Yes.
Just in pure blood-curdling terror.
There's a headphone warning on it too, by the way. So, but as well as I've also done various Twitch clips for the lovely places such as here on the Luna channel, Badhouse RPG, places like that, Transplanter RPG as well. All kinds of really cool people and friends. And then as well, like I said, I do edits. I do the promo videos for everything, and I gotta get one ready, and I gotta get a spot set up for the Humblewood stuff, so I'll have that all ready to go. Favorite part of today? Honestly, this is gonna be, you know what? This is my favorite part. I like the fact that I love the description you had for the bugs that they came from the Lion King. Like that Lion King description you had for the bugs. That's gotta be my favorite part.
Tastiest bugs ever in a movie.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh my goodness. So like I'm just imagining that, and I could just see like Leon going, "Whoa, that looks so good," and then he just like dives into them, you know.
Yeah.
So the describing of that was like my favorite part.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We'll pop on over to V.
Hey, I'm V or Vertigo, whatever you want to call me. I'm a variety game streamer over on Twitch. Come hang out, and you might see me playing a game you've never seen before. It was a great session. Had a lot of fun. My favorite part was definitely flirting with the cute cat. You know, it's just fun sometimes.
Obligatory. I have to show what Eliza looks like in case people forgot. But please continue.
Mm-hmm. That was it.
That was it. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Where is it? Name creature handles. There's Eliza. I love her so much.
Adorable.
Any excuse to show off this art. Like if we could just have this art up all the time, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'll just make
See,
Eliza
that's why
be
I'm working on getting her into the party.
Yeah, I know.
I'll just put Eliza art up at the end of every session. Who needs a
Heck
map?
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you
You
so
could give
much.
yourself like a little character icon and just have it be Eliza in the corner.
Thank you so much. We'll hop on over to IncognitoBurrito.
Hey, I get a gumbo, hang out over on Stella's Discord, IncognitoBurrito, or just gumbo. Play Valheim with my brother. Favorite part of the evening was probably V potentially having a pet slime. Yep. We'll see what happens.
I definitely don't collect a bunch of pets.
God. Moving on. GeekDice.
Hey folks, I'm GeekDice. You can find me on X at geek_dice. Had a lot of fun. I think my favorite part of this session was all the nat 20s, including the one Stella got. There was 20 of them, so carrying a lot of mojo. Good roll today, team. You guys are awesome. We will fret the day when it's the opposite, when it's all fumbles. But a lot of fun. Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm holding my nat 20s for something in the cave.
There were so many crit successes and crit failures this game.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. It was a good story. Very heroic story. Thank you so much. We'll pop on over to Matthew. Muted.
Muted.
You're muted.
That is what you're saying. Hello, I'm Matthew or B Street Holmes. That's where you can find me on Twitter or on Stella's Discord. And I think my favorite part was having Leon get the last of both swarms of bats. I thought that was just wonderful that especially because I know when it first started, you were like, they're flying. What am I going to do? And then you ended up finishing them both off, which was just great.
Excellent. Yes, I like combats. I'm surprised that y'all are so strong that you just kind of wipe them out, because I did make them stronger than they are in the book. I actually did add additional creatures to each one of them. So I might just have to bump up the difficulty. I'm just scared because y'all are level 1.
I remind you of all the crits. Today was an anomaly.
Okay.
Also, we did burn
Right,
through all of our spell slots.
True. True.
Please, baby dungeon master.
That's true. I have 0 spell slots left.
True. Okay.
How many does Leon have?
I don't think I have any magic.
No. You don't.
So I also have 0 spell slots.
Another way to look at it, Leon and I have all of our spells still.
True.
True.
Very true.
True.
I
But
just wait for the late night of magic. Yeah.
fortunately, we will probably be leveling up soon. I am just so scared. I never, ever, ever, ever have my players at level 1. I always bump them up, and I was like, let me just try one time. Let's just see what happens.
Just once.
Angle that side quest.
Yeah, I was like,
Have him at level 1 as a treat.
yeah, just as a treat. So we'll see what happens. We will be back with more Humblewood next Tuesday, because this was a makeup session. So please join us on the 20th at 8 p.m. Eastern for episode 3. Have a good night, everyone. Bye!